IPSCO. Then there's another company, Tesoro Petroleum. And this is one which we did not capture, but we should have, but we didn't. So Tesoro, IPSCO is in the steel business. Tesoro is in the oil refining business. They have oil refineries in the United States. And in the United States, in the last 30 years, not even one new oil refinery has been built because of NIMBY. You guys know what NIMBY is? Not in my backyard. Nobody wants the oil refinery near them. So in the entire US, anyone who wants to build an oil refinery, they never get the permits. So the oil refineries that we've had for 30 years ago, are the same ones we have today. And they keep trying to tweak the oil refineries in the US to get more and more capacity, but they're not able to build new ones. And so anyway, Tesoro had a bunch. So the oil refining business in the US actually is a pretty good business. And the reason it's pretty good is because all the different states have different requirements for how the gasoline or petroleum is to be produced and the amount of emissions and all that. So you need different refineries for different states to meet the standards, which makes it difficult for other competitors to come in. So even though oil refining may be a commodity business, it's not really a commodity business because it's got these kind of local aspects to it. So anyway, what happened with Tesoro is that there was another merger taking place with two large oil refiners. And in order to make that merger happen, they were forced to sell one of the oil refineries to make the merger happen. Tesoro bought that refinery. They leveraged their balance sheet to buy that refinery. And after they leveraged the balance sheet, the crack spread, which is the spread that refiners get to make crude oil into gasoline, the crack spread narrowed to almost nothing. So their profits went to next to nothing at the same time when they had a huge amount of debt. And so markets looked at the debt and they saw a lot of uncertainty because it is very hard to predict the crack spread. So just like the uncertainty of steel prices, the refining margins are always uncertain. And markets project present circumstances to infinity. So markets said, hey, the crack spread is small. It'll always be small. They have all this debt. They may not be able to pay the debt. What happens if they don't pay the debt? Well, what happens if they don't pay the debt is they have many refineries. They can just sell a refinery. They don't need to go bankrupt. They can just sell some assets and they can get out of the jam they're in. So I looked at the company, the balance sheet, the debt, and so on. And the stock was at $7.50. It had gone down a lot. It used to be at almost $30. It had gone down to 25% of the price. So I bought 10% of assets at $7.50. 3 months after I bought the stock, it was trading at $1.33. So the 10% of assets I put in, just this alone took my portfolio down by 8%, this one position. But one of the things that always happens to me, but it only happens to me, it doesn't happen to you, is every stock I buy goes down first. And it always goes down. I don't know why it doesn't go down before I buy, but they all go down after I buy. Somehow it knows. And you know, Bruce Berkowitz is a fund manager. He calls it premature accumulation. So I always have premature accumulation. And anyway, so $7.50, we're down to $1.33. We're used to that. We're not going to sell anything. We sit there. And then a few months later, the crack spread widens and they're paying down debt and the stock's at $15. And I said, hallelujah, from $1.33 to 15, 10 times, from $7.50 to 15, double, less than 3 years, still on track for 26%. We are out of here. Or like Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, hasta la vista, baby. Sold the stock and moved on. Now, what I didn't realize is that Tesoro had a phenomenal manager, Bruce Smith, just a kick-ass manager. And he was just a master at extracting value from these refineries. He bought pipelines and refineries when the financial crisis took place. And if I had kept Tesoro from the bottom tick of $1.33, it went up 200 times till today. Okay, so from the time I bought, it went up about 40 times. So I only captured a double. Okay, but the rest of the ride I completely missed because what this guy was able to do was he was a master at buying these assets, extracting more value, getting more getting more assets. They spun off a pipeline company. A lot of things they did. He delevered the balance sheet and all of that, and it just even now I think it's done really well. So that was an example of a low risk, high uncertainty business where I already knew in the period I owned the stock that I was dealing with an exceptional manager because in the conference calls, I was in love with Bruce Smith. He was just a great guy. He was doing all the right things. But we missed that 40x, and there was a chance to get a 200x.